Most people think their productivity problem is effort. They say, I need to be more disciplined. I need to stick to the plan. I just need to try harder this time. So they build a new system, a new routine, a better schedule, a tighter plan, and for a while it works. They wake up on time, they follow the checklist, they feel in control. Then something small happens, a late night, a bad morning, an unexpected problem, a day that doesn't go as planned. And suddenly the whole system collapses, not because they're lazy, not because they lack discipline, but because the system was built to survive perfect days only, and perfect days are rare. Most productivity systems are designed for a version of life that doesn't exist. Life without interruptions, life without fatigue, life without chaos. That's why they break. And when they break, people do the same thing every time. They restart, they rebuild the plan, they redesign the routine. They promise themselves this time will be different, but it isn't, because the structure is still fragile. The problem isn't you, the problem is the architecture. Let me explain. Most systems are built around momentum. The idea is simple. Do the thing every day. Protect the streak, build the habit, never break the chain. And that sounds good until life interrupts, and it always does. When the streak breaks, the system has no recovery mechanism, so everything collapses and you go back to zero. That's not a discipline problem, that's a design flaw. If your system can't survive a bad day, it's not a system. It's a fragile routine pretending to be one. I learned this the hard way. I used to build extremely tight plans, detailed routines, exact schedules, every minute accounted for. And they worked as long as nothing went wrong, but the moment something shifted, everything fell apart and I'd have to restart again. I thought I needed more willpower, more effort, more control, but effort wasn't the issue. The system was built wrong. So I changed the question. Instead of asking, how do I execute perfectly? I asked, what survives when I can't? That changed everything. Here's the first shift. Stop designing for good days. Design for bad days. Bad days are not exceptions. They're the majority. Days when you're tired, days when you're distracted, days when things don't go your way. If your system only works when you feel good, it will fail. So you build around the minimum, not the ideal, not the full routine, the minimum that keeps the behavior alive. For example, most people build a workout system that requires 30-60 minutes. So when they don't have 30 minutes, they do nothing. That's not consistency, that's conditional effort. The fix is simple. The system must have a non-negotiable minimum, not a goal, a survival threshold. For exercise, that might be 1 push-up, 1 stretch, 1 minute of movement. It sounds too small, but it's powerful because it keeps the system alive when everything else would die. Consistency isn't built on your best days, it's built on the days you almost quit, and the minimum is what gets you through those days. Remove decisions. Most people underestimate how much energy decisions consume. Every day you decide when to start, what to do, how long to go, whether today counts. By the time you get to the habit, you're already drained. So the system needs to decide for you. Same time, same trigger, same rule. No daily debate, no negotiation, no mental load. You don't decide, you execute. That's how you preserve energy. The system becomes automatic, not because you're disciplined, but because there's nothing to think about. Replace streaks with continuation. Streaks are fragile. They depend on perfection. Continuation doesn't. Continuation only cares about one thing: what happens next. Missed yesterday, continue today. Bad week, continue tomorrow. No reset, no restart, no guilt, just continue. This one shift eliminates 90% of inconsistency because most people don't quit from failure, they quit from restarting. Restarting turns one bad day into a full collapse. Continuation turns a bad day into a small bump. That's the difference. Here's what this looks like in practice. Let's say you want to write every day. A fragile system says write 1,000 words daily. A resilient system says open the document and write 1 sentence. That's it. Some days you'll write more, some days you won't. But the system stays alive, and alive systems grow, dead systems don't. Momentum comes after motion, not before. You don't wait to feel ready. You move first, even a little, and the momentum follows. This is how real consistency is built, not through intensity, not through discipline, not through motivation, through design. Systems that survive chaos, systems that expect disruption, systems that continue when things break, that's the entire game. If your system keeps collapsing, it's not because you're failing, it's because you're building fragile structures in a chaotic world, and fragile things always break. That's exactly why I built the consistency reset. It teaches you how to design minimums that survive bad days, replace streaks with continuation, remove decisions from execution, build systems that don't collapse when life interrupts. This isn't motivation, it's architecture. If you want consistency that lasts, you need a system that survives real life. That's what the consistency reset gives you. Link is in the description.